Well, just before we came on here, I spoke to the First Minister, Alex Salmond, and asked him what he thinks the chances are of Parliament voting for a referendum next year.
Oh, I think it's got a chance. I mean, politics is always changing. It's only a year plus since the Labour Party wanted an instantaneous referendum. So if they change their minds twice, they can change their minds 3 times. And obviously we've tried to be as flexible as possible in the presentation of the White Paper. And then when we get to the referendum bill, it means that we offer options that hopefully people can see the logic in letting the people of Scotland have their say. Your
new option is for devolution max, or what some people call independence light. Why have you added that in there?
Well, because it seems that the other parties have set their faces firmly against our previous question, a straight question on independence. It's still our preference to have a single question on independence, but we hope that by offering the options and not specifying the questions, we can engage the other parties in a conversation ourselves in order to build a majority for the legislation. I mean, obviously, you can call it a number of things, but it's not that too far distant since I remember the Steele Commission, David Steele, putting forward a similar policy for the future of Scotland. So there's some indication that people in the Parliament should be attracted to that option. But that's for discussion and debate.
It's about wooing the Liberal Democrats.
Well, I mean, as I've already pointed out, I mean, the Labour Party have reversed position twice on this issue in this single Parliament, so it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that they reverse their position again. And as far as the Liberals are concerned, then obviously one of the reasons for pointing out that many people in the national conversation were arguing for this proposition of fiscal and substantial legislative change. That is the traditional policy of the Liberal Democrat Party.
Well, Tavish Scott, the leader's going to be on this programme very, very shortly. So here's your chance. Appeal to him directly. Why should he change his mind and come on board?
Well, I'll tell you what, Glenn, given that the whole basis of the White Paper and the whole basis of launching the referendum bill early next year is not to put people into a corner, not to place them on the spot. I think it would be very unwise of me to place Tavish Scott in that spot today. I'd much rather do it flexibly, have that room for negotiation and debate. See, if they don't like the question that we wanted to ask, then let's ask a question that they do like.
But as long as they don't want a referendum this side of the next Holyrood elections. Isn't that clear?
Well, as long as independence is in the ballot paper, we're going to be extremely flexible. Remember,
but the point is the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, the Liberal Democrat Party are all making pretty clear that they're going to vote down this legislation. They don't want a referendum this side of certainly the general election, if not the next Holyrood election.
Yeah, but I remember Newsnight Scotland interviewing Wendy Alexander when she was demanding an instantaneous referendum. I note that the Liberals, the Conservatives and the Labour Party in Wales have united with Plaid Cymru in having a referendum for the Welsh people. I note that the Liberal Democrats want to have a referendum on whether we're in or out of Europe, and I've lost track of the Conservative Party's position. I just think it's difficult to sustain an argument that on our country's constitutional future, the people of Scotland should not have a say.
Yes, but
they should have a say. That's why we're putting forward the proposition.
You found it difficult to sustain the campaign for a local income tax when the opposition parties made it clear they'd vote that down. You withdrew that. Why not this?
Well, I think in the circumstances of politics next year, I think there's an element of flexibility. There's going to be political changes. The arguments for a referendum are overwhelming. Let's see if we can get the bill into discussion, and let's see if enough of the parliamentarians can decide to let the people of Scotland determine and have a say in our own future. It's not an unreasonable proposition. There's two things basically. Isn't there? There's going to be political changes next year. That might concentrate minds wonderfully. And secondly, it should be said that there is a political penalty, I believe, for denying the people of Scotland that right to determine their future. I mean, it's not a popular idea, believe me. I saw the Vox Pops on BBC Scotland earlier this evening. It's not a popular idea for any political party to somehow deny the people's right to choose on these matters. And I think it could become, if they maintain their position, a major, perhaps the dominating issue of the 2011 Scottish election campaign. So instead of doing that, let's have the referendum. Let's give people of Scotland the right to have a say.
As a betting man, what would you say the odds of that referendum happening next year are?
Well, I am a betting man, and I think this is a referendum with a good chance of getting to the winning post.
First Minister Alex Salmond, thanks very much indeed.
Great pleasure.